Hi guys, welcome to my new channel. Here we're going to be reviewing movies and today's movie is Napoleon. So guys, I just want to explain before I start what was my mindset before I came into the movie. So to be honest, I've been very hyped for Napoleon for a very long time. But the thing is that when I started reading reviews from reviewers that I really like, and I was hearing that they called it very bloated, very boring, very inaccurate, well, that kind of dampened my enthusiasm a little bit. But anyways, I went into this film hoping for the best, prepared for the worst, but hoping for the best. And I just want to say before we even start that I'm just going to be looking at this movie as a movie. I'm not going to delve into historical inaccuracies or anything like that. I'm just going to be looking at it like a movie. I'll explain it a little bit better when we start delving into it. Okay, so we start with the good. One of the first things that you'll notice when you start this movie is that its cinematography is spectacular. And it all has like a very tactile feel. Right from the beginning you can notice that. The movie starts, by the way, I'm not going to delve into spoilers too much. The movie starts with a text that quickly turns into red, white and blue, so like the flag. And I imagine it has to be a reference to Godard's text in film. If you know, and if not, I'm going to be showing something here. Godard usually started his films with text that had blue, white and red, so like the French flag, which makes sense because he's one of the founding fathers of the French New Wave. So yeah, when the movie started with those colors, I think, apart from obviously being about a guy who was French, I have to imagine that this was intentional. This was a clear reference to Godard and his text in the beginning of the films, which honestly we were off to a very good start. But not only that, right after that the movie starts and the logo is directly Napoleon's signature, which I loved because it foreshadowed something that I love about this movie, which is that it's very tactile. I mean, the first scene, which like I said, we're not going to delve into spoilers, but this is the first scene, so if you don't really want to know what happened in the first scene of the movie, you can just skip a couple of seconds. But if not, if you stay here, I'm going to tell you what happens. The movie starts with a decapitation, with a guillotine. With a guillotine, I don't really know how to say it in English, but guillotine, I guess. And this whole scene is very, not only gruesome, but it's very tactile. You can feel that you are there. It sets up the whole tone of the movie perfectly. Like I said, one of the best parts of this movie is the cinematography. And there's one scene in particular, which I'm not going to spoil, but I'm going to tell you this, and I am sure that when you watch it, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. There's one scene which involves eyes, and if you notice, you have white, blue and red, like the French flag. It's spectacular. But yeah, the cinematography of this film is great. So in that aspect, it gets a thumbs up. Right, so now we're going to talk about the thing that really interests me, which is the story. And one of the things that I love the most about this movie is that it really exemplifies Napoleon's last words. If you know, Napoleon's last words were France, the army and Josephine. And by that I mean the following. So usually when you're going to do a biopic about someone, or when you really want to have a three-dimensional character, there are a couple of things that you can try. Like for example, showing their whole lives, their social life, their school life, their family life, you know, all the aspects of one life, all of the relationships of one life. But this movie does something which I found really interesting, which is that instead of showing all of the aspects of Napoleon's life, they just show two aspects of his life. They show his military life and then they show his love life with Josephine, which is a very good choice because they are totally opposite, by which I mean that Napoleon is a great military leader. Most of his ideas work out in his favor and he ends up getting what he wants, usually. But instead, with Josephine, it's totally the opposite. You can see that he is, for lack of a better word, a bit of a simp for her. And it's very easy to see. I mean, the moment, you can feel it a little bit before, but the moment in which it becomes really clear is when, again, I'm going to be vague, so not to have spoilers, but there is this one scene in which Napoleon is very mad at Josephine and he tells her that she's nothing without him, but then she turns it totally around and says that it's not that she's nothing without him, it's that he is nothing without her. She's right. She's right. And you can see it throughout the whole movie that she's right. So yeah, so that was something that I found very interesting. Instead of showing all of the aspects of one's character, showing two aspects that were totally opposite to each other. So just to finish with what I was saying before, the three main complaints that they heard from this movie was that first, that it was boring, second, that it was very inaccurate, and third, that it was really long. The first one, that it was boring, I don't agree. I really don't understand that criticism. What I can understand is that maybe they went into the movie expecting something else. They expected it maybe to be more epic and to be the feeling that you got from the action scenes. I think that that's what they expected the whole movie to be like. But like I said, no, it was very different. It showed Napoleon being a great military leader, but at the same time it also showed Napoleon as being a little bit pathetic, to be honest. The second aspect is that it wasn't accurate, which, like I said before, it's not something that we're even going to consider. What I really wanted was a good movie, not a good historical representation of Napoleon, to be honest. So that's how I was judging it. And then the third aspect was that it was too bloated, which we're going to talk about now. Like I said before, this movie wasn't boring, but it is almost 3 hours, and you can feel it. But something very weird happened to me, which is that I started feeling the movie when something happened twice. I'm going to explain. Again, without spoilers. This is the first and last time I'm doing it without spoilers. I'm probably going to start doing spoiler reviews from now on because it's much easier. So yeah, I'm going to try not to spoil anything. There is one point in which I'm going to be very vague, like I said, to not spoil anything, in which they punish Napoleon for something that he did, and the thing is that that punishment was the perfect opportunity to end the film. But the film continues after that, which to me was a surprise, because I really thought that they were going to do the typical thing that they do in biopics or in John Hughes movies, in which after the movie ends, you see, the images, and it was the perfect opportunity to also see the real face of Napoleon. But they didn't do that. Instead, Napoleon came back from his punishment, which to me was weird. And I'm not saying, when I'm saying it's weird, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. Actually, for me, it was a surprise, but I didn't really mind it that much. But that was the first time in which I thought to myself, the movie's still going. The movie's still going. I thought it was going to end there. But not, the movie was still going, and yeah, and it was, I didn't really mind after that point. But then they punished him again. And to be honest, I liked the end of the film, but you could have stopped the movie before. You really wouldn't have lost much. Not really because after the first punishment, what happened after was boring or anything like that, but because the same thing happens twice, and really you get the feeling that you could have ended the movie before. So yeah, is it a bit long? Probably. Would it maybe have been better if they cut some scenes, or if maybe they ended the movie before? Yes. Is the movie boring? No, it's not. Is the movie good? Yes, it is. Do I recommend it? Yes, of course. I give it 2 thumbs up. So yeah. So I hope that you liked this video. This is my first review. Also, as you can probably tell, I'm not a native speaker, and it's been a long time since I've spoken in English. But anyways, if you like this video, please subscribe. And also I have other channels. I have another channel that I'm going to start re-uploading in a bit, called TableTenReviews. And also, if you prefer, I do reviews in Spanish, which is my native language. So you can either watch my videos here or watch them in Spanish in TableTen Critica. So yeah, I'm going to leave them over here. I don't know where I'm going to leave them, maybe over there. And yeah, subscribe if you want, not only to this channel, but to the others. So yeah, goodbye. I hope that you liked the video. I'm going to start uploading a lot of them, and if you have any suggestion for any movie, please tell me. And goodbye.